What's going on, guys? It's your boy Haiguh back with another Anthem video, and boy oh boy do I got a nice one for you guys. I'm sure you guys can already tell by the title, but today we're going to be talking about the best possible setup for the Colossus in the game at this current state of the game. This particular setup is a bit more aggressive, so if you don't like the playstyle you hear or see, then I have another much more safe and reserved setup video coming for you guys in the future. I'm focusing on the abilities for today, as the weapons are free for you to decide on. All the gameplay in the background is either going to be in GM1 or GM2, and some of it is from my Twitch stream, so feel free to check me out on there, link in the description. But anyways, since it's on GM1 and 2, you'll be able to get an idea of what these abilities are going to be doing for you in the end game of Anthem. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the video. So the main setup we're going to be looking at is with the Railgun and Shock Coil. Now, you're going to be looking for the masterworked or legendary versions of these abilities to get the most bang for your buck. But if you want to give it a shot in the early game with the blue or purple variations, I'm sure it wouldn't be too different. So to start, I'm using the legendary Railgun, which has a whopping 9.4k base damage, which is a lot. So when I saw that, I knew I had to give that a shot. On top of that, the Masterwork / legendary perk on it gives the Railgun an additional charge, so you're going to have some fun with this one. Before we get more into the detail, the ordnance launcher you're going to be using is the Masterwork Shock Coil, or the legendary. This could work with the purple and under variations of the ability, but there is a big difference in the way you play with the Masterwork Shock Coil versus anything purple and under. That's because the perk on it allows you to freeze people with it as well as electrifying them. So now getting into the fun part, how this plays and why this is the best setup. I said earlier that I play on GM1 and 2. Now, given the situation / mission, you may have to play a bit more safely, but with this setup, you can get pretty damn aggressive. I usually hop into where the most enemies are, pop the Shock Coil, which freezes everyone around me, melee for the combo damage, then follow up with the Railgun on whichever enemy I prefer. If there's a boss, I usually go for a weak spot on the boss. I just talked about a lot, but I'm going to explain it. First off, I am talking about the legendary variant of the Railgun, which after the recent patch is going to be even harder to obtain. So don't expect to get the same numbers with the purple or Masterwork version. However, the Masterwork version does have about 8k base damage, which isn't too far off. But our numbers won't be as similar unless you have a legendary, so please keep that in mind. Anyways, to give you some numbers, the lowest I've ever hit on anything in this game with the Railgun is about 6k. That is on shielded enemies, which is still kind of a lot. But on enemies with no shield, the least I've hit for is 17k. That's rare though. I usually hit for 18 to 22k on non-weak spots. However, on weak spots, I hit for anywhere between 30 to 34k damage, which is nice, especially on enemies that have a ton of health. Other things to note about the Railgun, one is that it's very versatile, so it can be used from far away or from up close. Two is that it has a small charge time and there is a very small interval in between using shots. Very small, but it's still there. And three, it staggers enemies. Not every single enemy, but a lot of them, including Scar Scouts, Frost Hounds, any enemies under Elite in GM1 or 2, Titans, Ur-6, and more. You can't really stagger a Scar-Eye, but it does a lot of damage to their shielded legs, which helps open up weak spots. Disclaimer on Titans, you can't expect to just shoot one and stagger it, but when they open their arms in certain animations, you can aim to hit for the stagger. It does stop some attacks, but the main reason you'd look to stagger is because when they fall back a bit, the weak spot stays open, which is nice for DPS. Now into why I use the Shock Coil with it. In case you haven't seen my previous Colossus video, I talked about primers and detonators in it. So if you don't already know what primers and detonators are and or what they do, you should go watch it. Link will be in the description. But anyways, the Shock Coil acts beautifully as a primer, especially with the day 1 update. The freeze effect lasts for a damn long time, which is good because even though the Railgun's charge time isn't that long, it's not instant. So enemies being frozen gives you time to charge. It also gives you time to find the weak point on the enemy and line up for the shot, which like I said, does 30 to 34k damage. Also, speaking of primers, I have a weapon. It's the Masterwork version of the Hammerhead called Rauners Blaze. If you hit 5 shots in a row, it primes enemies with burn. And obviously, an assault rifle has more range than your Shock Coil, and the Railgun can be used as a long-range ability. So if you have this, you can prime and detonate combos from a distance. Also, in case you didn't know, melee damage, combo damage, and ultimate damage are all based on your item level, which means your combo with the Shock Coil / melee will do the same damage as the assault rifle and the Railgun. The Railgun may do more damage than the melee as a detonator, but I mean for the combo damage itself. I have some component abilities that help out with this as well. With those, the highest I've hit an enemy's weak point for is 58k. 58k. That's more than one of my ultimate shots. But anyways, with that being said, we can get into the two main components that are going to be helping you out with this setup. The names of them are Synchronized Frame and Catalytic Overdrive. I'm using the legendary version of Synchronized Frame, but the only difference with Masterwork and legendary components is the amount of shield / HP they give. So Sync Frame increases heavy assault launcher damage by 5%, which is the Railgun, and the perk on it is defeating an enemy increases heavy assault launcher damage by 60% for 5 seconds. Now I know what you're thinking. Holy cow, we can do a lot of damage with that 5 seconds. However, unfortunately, that perk is kind of glitchy at the moment. I've been using it for quite a while, and it almost never activates, even though it's supposed to after every enemy defeated. It does pop up occasionally, but it's pretty rare. I would say out of the 20 plus hours that I've used it, it's activated less than 10 times. But on the bright side, when they fix it, I will be doing some crazy damage. It's pretty self-explanatory why this is good for the setup. Catalytic Overdrive is the Masterworked version of the bonus combo damage component. So it gives increased combo damage by 50%, and detonating a combo increases ability damage by 40% for 20 seconds. This one is super nice because 20 seconds is a lot of time. Plus, if they fix Sync Frame, that would mean if you get a combo and kill an enemy at the same time, you get double Railgun damage for 5 seconds, which is insane. Imagine hitting a weak point for 60k damage. Crazy, right? This one is also pretty self-explanatory as to why I use it. Your other 4 component spots, you can put whatever you want. I heard there's a component that gives additional combo damage by 200%, which is insane, but I don't have it, so I'm not entirely sure if it's real or not. But if you have it, I'd imagine that that'd be beautiful for the setup. That's pretty much all the information I could give you on the setup. I hope that I gave you guys a nice idea, and hopefully you guys can start wrecking all the enemies in your way just like I have. Just like the last video, if you guys have any questions about maybe something I left out or didn't touch up on, feel free to drop it down in the comments and I will do my best to answer the question. Once again, I hope I was helpful, and if you enjoyed the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, it's been your boy Haiguh, and I will see you guys in the next video.